What if the NFL had divisional championship games? And you might be asking yourself, what does that even mean? Well, the top two teams from each division will play each other, which would, I guess, kind of be like a Week 17 thing. Instead of actually having a full Week 17, we just have Week 17, which is a division championship games, kind of like college football last week's for conference championship games. Well, the winner of each division from that championship game moves on to the playoffs, where there would only be an 8-team playoffs. For this video, it's pretty much going to be like a 16-team playoffs, but in real life, it would, if this was actually the real thing, it would be 8 teams, and the matchups I'm going to do first would be Week 17 matchups. So let's look at the top two teams from each division. The AFC East, the top two teams are the Bills and Dolphins. They would play each other in this Week 17 sort of matchup kind of thing. Or I guess it would be Week 18 technically. I've been saying Week 17 would be Week 18. The AFC North is Steelers versus Ravens. The AFC South, Titans versus Colts. Two teams that are both 11-5. You know, instead of just saying Titans get it with tiebreaker of regular season, you have a championship game to see who really is better with both 11-5 records. And the AFC West, the Chiefs versus Raiders. So I would say a notable team left out of this kind of playoff bracket is the Cleveland Browns, which were third in their division. They are not going to be in this video, even though they had the 6th best record in the AFC. They are not in it because they were not one of the top two teams in the AFC. They were instead replaced by teams like the Raiders and the Dolphins. So with this format, you have to be top two in your division. You have an opportunity to make the playoffs. A team like the Raiders has a better chance to actually make it than the Browns, even though they have several less wins. Over on the NFC side, the East teams, this one's an interesting one. The Washington football team versus the New York Giants. One of these two teams is making the playoffs. Obviously, the Washington made it in real life, but in an 8-team format instead of 14, either Washington or Giants are going to be in. North Packers versus Bears, that's a pretty big difference. The North really did not have any good teams here besides the Packers. The Bears made the playoffs, obviously, but were they that good? No, not really. South, Saints versus Buccaneers. Regular season, the Saints beat them twice. They're going up against Super Bowl champions Buccaneers to see who will make one of those top 4 playoff spots. And the NFC West, Seahawks and Rams, which was an actual playoff matchup. Really, you can look at this as a 16-team bracket, if that's how you want to look at it. But how they will be seeded after these division championship games, the team with the best record gets the 1 seed, and then so on and so forth. Because they're all division champions and there's really no wild cards, they would just be seeded like that. So that means the winner of the NFC East is guaranteed the 4th seed. And then after that, the 1 and 4 seed play. The winner of that game plays the winner of the 2 and 3 seed. Then, we'll have a Super Bowl. So, hopefully you understand what's going on. If not, I have a whole picture of the bracket here that I've had up there. So hopefully it kind of makes sense to you. Let's go ahead and simulate the first game, which will be Bills versus Dolphins, to see who wins the AFC East. So Bills versus Dolphins, once again, Ryan Fitzpatrick is the starter. Like the last video, I don't get why. Maybe because it's the end of the season and the roster's reset back to the beginning of the year. I don't know. That doesn't really make much sense to me, but I didn't touch the rosters. They just changed on their own, so I guess whatever. But, I expect the Bills to win this game, but I also expect it to be close because the Bills always play teams close in these simulations. Let's see who wins the AFC East to make the 18 playoff. Dolphins up early, 7-0. They're looking to pull a big upset over the Bills. Bills get on the scoreboard 7-3. Now Dolphins up 14-3. 14-6. It's still a 1-score game. Can the Bills score a touchdown? Dolphins up 21-6. We might see a huge upset. 28-6. The Dolphins with Fitzpatrick, 35-13. Dolphins blow out the Bills in shocking upset. The Bills always do so good in my simulations, but the Miami Dolphins are going to be one of the 4 teams in the playoffs. How far can they go in the playoffs? We'll have to see later on. How far they can go. The next matchup is the AFC North Division Championship game between the Steelers versus the Ravens. Steelers versus Ravens. Obviously, Steelers have the better record, but I just have a feeling the Ravens are going to be able to win this game. I'm not really sure why. Steelers usually don't do that good in simulations, but usually they do make it out of the first round. So, honestly, I really have no idea who's going to win this game. So let's just go ahead and sim to see who wins the AFC North and makes the 18 playoffs. No score early on. Steelers on the board first, 3-0. Very low scoring game, defensive game. Now Ravens on the board, 7-3. Now Steelers up 10-7. Now we're tied, 10-10. Steelers up 13-10. Can the Ravens take the lead here? No, they tie at 13-13. Now Steelers up by a touchdown. Now we're tied again, 20-20. Now Ravens in the lead, 27-20. They take a lead late. Oh, we're tied, 27-27 in overtime. Steelers scored a late touchdown, and the Ravens kick a field goal in overtime to win the game and win the AFC North. They will be in the playoffs. The next matchup, Titans versus Colts for the AFC South. Another upset where the road team wins to move on into the playoffs and have a different team win their division. Or can the Titans hold on, win the AFC South, and make it into the playoffs with an 11-5 record? That would be tied with the Ravens for best record. So that would be interesting. Titans would get the tiebreaker over Ravens because they did have the higher seed in the real-life playoffs. But can the Colts upset them like I said? Let's go ahead and see. The Colts have really good simulations, but the Titans more recently have actually gotten a little bit better at the simulations. So let's see who wins this game. Low scoring early on. Titans up early, 7-0. They get the first score. Now it's 7-3. Now Titans up 14-3 over the Colts. Now they're up 21-3. They are blowing out the Colts 24-3. Phillip Rivers not doing anything good here. 31-3. 31-6. The Colts haven't even gotten a touchdown yet. Kind of an embarrassing performance by the Colts. And I guess that answers my question. We will not continue the streak of teams getting upsetted. Titans, just like in real life, win the AFC South. They are in the playoffs. Currently, out of the teams in the AFC, they have the best record. So they're guaranteed the 2 seed. Yeah, that's how crazy this is right now. The Titans right now, at minimum, are going to be the 2 seed in the AFC. On paper, this should be the biggest blowout, as the difference in record is by 6 games between the Chiefs and Raiders. You know, the AFC West had the Chiefs, and then there were the other 3 teams, which really weren't that good. However, in these simulations I've done since the March Madness video, the only team that has knocked out the Chiefs, you're looking at them, the Las Vegas Raiders. They're the only, it looks like they're the Chiefs' kryptonite. In the regular season, the Raiders did beat the Chiefs. You know, the Chargers beat them too, but that didn't really count. The Raiders beat them when the Chiefs were at full force. You know, obviously the Buccaneers did the Super Bowl, but they didn't in any simulation I've done. Only the Raiders in any simulation I've done have beat them. Can they do it again? Can they pull off the impossible, beat the Chiefs, and make the playoffs? Let's see what happens when we send to the end of the game. Or will the Chiefs continue their dynasty, obviously, in these simulations? Chiefs up 7-0. Now they're up 10-0. It's not looking good for the Raiders. 17-0 for the Chiefs. Now it's 17-7. Now it's 17-14. Raiders getting back into it. 24-14. Chiefs at halftime is 24-17. Raiders still is tied all of a sudden. 24-24. Now Chiefs up 31-24. Very close game. Can the Raiders score? Now it's 38-24. It's 38-31. Can Raiders score a late touchdown? They cannot. Chiefs beat the Raiders 38-31. They get revenge over the Raiders for their March Madness defeat, the NFL March Madness video, where the Chiefs lost in that video. And then win 38-31. They get the 1 seed in the AFC. That means they will play the Dolphins, who are the 4 seed. Now over to the NFC side, where the first one is the NFC East Division Championship game between the Washington football team and the New York Giants. So I had to do some editing with the depth chart, because when I went to start simulating this video, it wanted to start Dwayne Haskins at quarterback for the Washington football team. And that's just, like, you know, not accurate, like, at all. So I think it's starting Alex Smith, but in the depth chart it said he was injured, but it says he's starting. So if it's not him, then it's Taylor Heineke at quarterback. I'm pretty sure it's Alex Smith starting, though. And also, I fixed the Dolphin situation. It's no longer Ryan Fitzpatrick starting. It is Tua, so if the Dolphins start doing worse, sorry. I've made it more realistic. But yeah, Washington football team versus Giants. When I came up with this idea in my head, this was the matchup I was most looking forward to, because both teams are horrible. And, you know, why not? It'd be really interesting. If this was real life, it'd be really interesting to see, out of 8 teams in the playoffs, you would have possibly a 6-10 team in there. That's what we're looking at. That's how bad the NFC East is. Anyways, let's just see who wins this god-awful division. You know, obviously in real life, the Giants felt screwed by the Eagles because it looked like they were throwing the game there at the end. Now Giants in this format get an opportunity to earn their way in. Let's see if they can win a game when they need it most. And Giants on the board first, 3-0. Can Washington get on the board at all? We are tied 3-3. Now Washington up 10-3. Low scoring game at halftime. Washington up 13-3. Giants did really good in the March Madness video. They got a safety. It's 13-11. They're only down by 2. Now it's 20-11, 20-18. Now Giants in the lead, 25-20 out of nowhere. Washington football team gets the game-winning touchdown. I was about to say they choked, but holy cow. Man, I was not expecting that. I was about to say they choked 25-20, and last second, Alex Smith comes up clutch for the Washington football team. They make this 18 playoffs, and the Giants thought they had it just to lose it to the Washington football team at the end. Next matchup is the NFC North Division Championship game between the Packers and the Bears. The Bears are another very sneaky team. They always do good in these simulations. I mean, the first one in March Madness, they were in the Final Four. The last simulation I did, they almost beat the Bills, which was very interesting. Obviously, the Bills lost in the first round here, so I would just not be shocked if they somehow beat the Packers. I don't expect it to happen, but man, sometimes the MVP can beat the MVP. If that happens, it'll be kind of shocking. But hey, I've thought of that. This is a matchup between the MVP versus the MVP. First one I said was an N, not an M, an N. But I like how I emphasize that means just how bad Mitchell Trubisky is. No offense, Mitchell. I hope you have fun backing up Josh Allen in Buffalo. But yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and sim to the end of the game. Can the Bears completely upset the Packers? I guess we're going to have to see what happens. To win the NFC North. I mean, they're behind them by 5 games. Packers up 7-0 over the Bears. Now they're up 14-0. Aaron Rodgers is just giving it his all here. 21-0. Mitch Trubisky is not showing up. 28-0. Bears have done nothing offensively. Don't even have a field goal. That's how bad the Bears are. Now they have a touchdown. 31-7. Too little, too late for the Bears. I mean, it was late since they were at the very beginning of the game. 38-7. The Packers beat the Bears somehow, some way. They did. Actually, not somehow, some way. It was obviously very expected. I'm just actually shocked the Bears weren't actually in it because every other Madden simulation, they're in the end. But in this one, nope, wasn't even close in this game. Packers will be the ones seeing they're facing Washington. Buccaneers versus Saints. I feel like this matchup has happened a lot in my simulation. It's a matchup that happened 3 times in real life. Saints won twice, Buccaneers won once, but obviously Buccaneers won when it most mattered. They didn't win their division in real life, but with this division championship game, it gives them an opportunity to actually win their division. I guess let's just see what happens. Can the Buccaneers avoid elimination like, how they weren't able to do in the last video and, move on and have an opportunity to actually win a simulation, which they haven't done yet. The Super Bowl champions have not won any of my simulations yet. Or can the Saints knock them off and move on to the next round to play either the Seahawks or the Rams, which I guess would be the next round would be the playoffs. But, you know what I mean. Let's just sit to the end of the game. Low scoring game early. Saints up 7-0. Bucks now tie the game 7-7. Not many touchdowns. 10-7. At halftime, it's 14-10 when the Buccaneers have their first lead. Now it's 20-10. They're up by 2 scores right now. Can the Saints score? Defense is a big part of this game. 27-13, 2-touchdown game. 30-13. Buccaneers are in the next round. In the 18 playoffs. They knock off the Saints. That means in real life they didn't win their division, but with this division championship game, they do win their division. And like I said, they will be playing the winner of the NFC West, which will either be the Seahawks or the Rams. What's at stake here is that if the Seahawks win, they will get the 2 seed and be the home team against the Buccaneers. If the Rams win, they are the 3 seed and they travel to the Buccaneers, which the Buccaneers will be the 2 seed. So a lot is at stake here, obviously, even without anything I just said there. Lots at stake. Obviously, the winner of this game plays the Buccaneers. Just depends on who wins, on who will have home field advantage for that game. So I expect the Seahawks to probably win this game, but in the past simulations I've done, the Rams have actually beaten the Seahawks, which is kind of shocking. Let's go ahead and sim to the end of the game to see who gets it done and wins the NFC West. Seahawks up early 7-0. Rams, and now it's Seahawks 7-3. Rams got field goal 14-3. Now it's 14-10. Rams keeping it close. Their defense definitely needs to step up, though. And their offense needs to. Now they're in the lead 17-14. This would actually be kind of an upset, even though in real life Rams did beat the Seahawks. 24-21, Rams in the lead. 31-21, oh boy. 31-24. Tied the game. Oh, Seahawks tied the game. I don't know to say it was over, but the Rams do score the game-winning touchdown in overtime. I was about to say it was over, but just like an earlier game, the Washington and Giants game, down to the wire, Rams end up winning 37-31. This is another game that went to a team that didn't win their division. In real life, the Rams did beat the Seahawks in the playoffs, but technically this wasn't a playoff game. This would be a Week 18 matchup for division champions. But let's look at the bracket now. Because the Rams won, they are the 3 seed. Buccaneers are the 2 seed. Chiefs versus Dolphins, Titans versus Ravens, Packers versus Washington, and Buccaneers versus Rams. Next matchup I'm simulating is Chiefs versus Dolphins. Let's go ahead to that game to see who makes it to the next round. So with this format, the Dolphins went from not even making the playoffs to now being the 4 seed. They're playing the Chiefs, as they both are now division winners, seeing how the Dolphins upset the Bills. As I said earlier, obviously I switched it from Ryan Fitzpatrick to Tua, so that's why Tua is not playing. But that might make it worse for the Dolphins. It might make it better. I don't know. Like I've said, I've never seen anyone other than the Raiders knock out the Chiefs, so I don't expect it to happen here. But you never know. But yeah, let's just go ahead and sim to the end of the game and expect the Chiefs to win because they win every single simulation I do. Chiefs up early 7-0, no shocker. 7-3. Now they're up 14-3 over the Dolphins. 21-3. Man, they're blowing them out. Maybe I should have left Fitzpatrick and they probably would have had more of an opportunity to beat the Dolphins. If only the computer was smart enough that Fitzpatrick probably has to go in the game right now. 35-10. I don't see the Dolphins coming back from this. 42-10, 42-17. Chiefs are just too good. Madden loves the Chiefs more than anything else. We're probably looking at a Chiefs-Buccaneers matchup here. But yeah, Chiefs got to play the easier Florida team. Well, not the easiest, but the second easiest Dolphins team, which is also the second easiest Florida team, which is also the second hardest Florida team. However way you want to look at it. But yeah, Chiefs are in the next round. They will be playing the winner of the Titans versus Ravens game, which is the next game I am simulating. Titans versus Ravens, an actual playoff matchup, which were the 4th seed versus the 5th seed in the first round. This time it's 2 versus 3 seed. They both have the same record, but Titans got the tiebreaker for, I don't know why, just because that's how it was in the actual playoffs, so I gave them the 2 seed over the Ravens. Titans have never made it past one simulation one in any of my videos I think I've done. Ravens have made it far before. In the March Madness video, they made it pretty far. But can the Titans beat the Ravens, which I don't think they have done that in a simulation so far either? Can they do that and face the Chiefs in the next round to possibly pull off a big upset? Let's just go ahead and see what happens and sim to the end of the game. Ravens up early 3-0. Now Titans have a 7-3 lead. Now they're up 14-3. They're looking to be in the AFC Championship game. 17-3. 17-10 now. Now it's 24-10. They have a 2-touchdown lead. 24-13. 31-13. 34-13. Titans have blown out the Ravens, and they're kind of changing their status. It was it got close there for a second. It got close for literally less than 1 second. It was 34-27. And then the Titans scored another touchdown just instantaneously. And they win 41-27 over the Ravens. They are in the AFC Championship game to play the to play the Chiefs. Before we get there, we have Packers in Washington and Buccaneers and Rams to simulate. 2 things could happen here in this game. A, the obvious happens, the Packers win, because that's obviously what's going to happen. Or B, we have the biggest upset of this video, and Washington beats the Packers. It wouldn't be the biggest upset I've ever had in any of my simulations. That would go to the March Madness video. There were quite a few big upsets in there, specifically the Lions. But, yeah. Washington football team has an opportunity to be the NFC Championship game. Can they do it? I guess we're just going to have to sit to the end of the game and see if they can pull off the impossible and beat the Green Bay Packers. Packers up early 3-0. Now it's tied 3-3. Green Bay is not being able to get any touchdowns. Washington keeping it close with their defense, 10-3. But can their offense do something? It's 10-3 at half. Washington's been able to keep them pretty close, 24-10. two-score game, 31-10. Washington, their defense played good until the fourth quarter, but their offense was just not there the entire game. They only scored one touchdown. They lose to the Packers as, the obvious happens. Packers move on to the NFC Championship game. They will be playing the winner of the Buccaneers and Rams game, which I kind of expect to go one way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you assume who I expect to win that game, but I'll talk about it more here in a second. The Bucs is who I expect to win this game, just to answer my question from a couple seconds ago. Yeah, I mean, if the Rams had Matthew Stafford and this was next year's roster, maybe I'd give him an opportunity, but seeing how in all the simulations I've done, I think the only team the Rams have beat is the Seahawks. And give them credit. Every simulation I've done, I'm pretty sure they've beaten the Seahawks, which is actually quite impressive by them. I'll give them credit for that. But this is the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers didn't do good in the last simulation, and they're looking for revenge. I expect them to beat the Rams, so let's just sim to the end of the game and see what happens. Maybe we'll get an upset. Who knows? Bucks up on the scoreboard, forced 7-0. Now it is 10-0. Rams defense isn't really doing much, and their offense isn't doing much either. I mean, their defense is playing all right, but their offense is just pretty bad. 13-0. Rams touchdown right now would be pretty good. 21-7. Get another touchdown, Rams? Maybe. No, you give the Bucks a touchdown. 35-7. They blow out the Rams completely, and the Bucks will face the Packers in the NFC Championship game, which is what happened in real life. Give them credit for that. Let's look at the updated bracket. I think the only upset out of these four teams is the Titans. I did not expect them to get here, but you look at the teams they played. The Colts, not shocked they won that game, and the Ravens, not really shocked they won that game either. So they definitely got help from the Bills losing to the Dolphins, because the most obvious four teams here would have been if the Bills was here instead of the Titans. So at least we had some difference, because usually it always is the Chiefs, Bills, Packers, and Buccaneers in the end of these simulations. But this time it wasn't, so give Madden credit for that. They changed it up a little bit. Well, maybe the Titans could beat the Chiefs. I don't know. I mean, it's really looking like we're going to have Chiefs in the championship game against whoever, either the Packers or Buccaneers. That's what it's looking like. But before they get there, they have to play a game against the Titans, and I don't really expect the Titans to beat them. But man, it would really make interesting for the video if the Titans could just beat the Chiefs to change things up a little bit. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm getting sick and tired of watching the Chiefs win every single simulation I've done. Besides the March Madness video, of course, which is my most video, so I guess the Chiefs don't have that for their credit. But yeah, let's just go ahead and sim the game, I guess. Maybe we get an upset, maybe we don't. It's more likely the latter rather than the former. Chiefs on the board first, 3-0. We're tied 3-3. Chiefs get the first touchdown, 10-3. 10-6. Titans still keeping it close. It's still a one-touchdown game, 13-6. 20-6, two-touchdown game. Now, Titans still have not scored a touchdown. 20-13, it's close. And 27-13, Titans, can you get something? No, you can't. 34-13, 37-13, 37-19 is the final score. Chiefs are in the Super Bowl yet again. They're always there. They didn't even win it in real life this year, yet Madden loves them so much. They beat the Titans. They will play the winner of the NFC Championship game, which will be either the Packers or the Buccaneers. Buccaneers beat the Packers. That's something they're very good at. In the regular season and in the playoffs in real life, they did it pretty easily. I will say that. In Madden, they beat them too. When I did my NBA simulation video with, NFL format with the NBA, or no, NFL playoffs with NBA format, the Bucs swept the Packers, surprisingly, as the 4 seed. So can they beat the Packers in this video to get a rematch against the Chiefs? Because the Bucs and Chiefs have faced off in the championship game in a couple different simulations I've done, and the Chiefs have won every time. Can the Bucs get their revenge? They got to go through the Packers first. Packers are also looking for revenge because the Chiefs beat them in the last video. So let's go ahead and sim to the end of the game to see who will have an opportunity to get revenge against the Chiefs. Packers up early 3-0. Buccaneers get the first touchdown of the game, 7-3. Now Packers up 10-7. Back and forth game so far, 14-10, 14-13, a 1-point game. Buccaneers take a 21-13 lead. Still one score. Now Buccaneers up 2 scores. Now it's 1 score again. 24-16. 2 scores. 1 score. 27-22. Packers are still in it, but they will not win. Buccaneers beat the Packers yet again. They will be in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs to see if they can recreate what happened in real life, and the Chiefs will be looking to do what they do in every simulation video, and that's win the Super Bowl. Chiefs versus Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are looking to do what they did in real life, beat the Chiefs, and win the Super Bowl, while the Chiefs are looking to win another simulation video because they do it all the time. The Buccaneers are looking to be the third different team to win a simulation video that I've done so far, while the Chiefs are just, like I said, looking to win another one. Let's just go ahead and simulate the game to see who wins the Super Bowl and who wins the what if the NFL had division championship games. Bucks up early, 7-0. Chiefs get on the board, 7-3. No touchdowns yet for the Chiefs. Now Bucks up 14-3. Now it's 14-10. Chiefs are usually good at coming back, 14-13. Close game, Bucks up 17-13. Chiefs can score a touchdown at any moment, and they do there, 20-17. Chiefs hold on to the lead. Now it's 27-17, 34-17. And what do you know? Chiefs win another simulation. Incredible. You know how many simulations they've won? All of them except for one. And the only one they didn't win is before the Super Bowl even happened. And the funny thing is they didn't even win the Super Bowl in real life, and when they play against the Buccaneers, this is now the third time the Buccaneers have lost to the Chiefs in a simulation video in the championship round, man. Man, Madden, you're not being realistic right now. I mean, yeah, of course, Chiefs winning is very realistic, and obviously probably was the more likely outcome going in the Super Bowl, but Bucks won in real life, and I'm surprised Madden hasn't given the Bucks one yet. Not one have the Buccaneers won yet. So, obviously, we're looking at the bracket here at the end. Chiefs win the whole thing yet again. I'm not sure what my next simulation video will be. There's a good chance, though, it's going to be about NBA on NBA 2K21. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.